Ted and Edith were my mom and dad, and they were genuine. My dad was 13. He was visiting relatives in Chicago, and he went to an open-air tent meeting, and he walked forward and prayed to receive Christ, and it changed his life. He went home and immediately wanted to go to church and Sunday school and learn more about Jesus, and he had a concern for people and their souls and for eternity, and he wanted to make a difference. When my dad finished high school, he enlisted in the Navy. He was still 17. And then he met my mom at a Saturday night USO dance and asked her for a date. And she said, well, she would be going to church the next day. And he said, that's good, I'll go with you.
Ted accomplished a lot in his life, and a lot of it at a young age. He was a collegiate basketball standout. He played for the Boston Celtics, was a fighter pilot in World War II for the Navy, and retired as an executive for the largest shirt manufacturer in America when he was 25 years old. With all those accomplishments, the thing he loved the most was his wife Edith. And he loved her and cherished her, and it was obvious to all of us. I've got a gift and a special reminder. The same ring that Edith gave Ted in 1947, she gave to my wife, who gave it to me. And it's a gift and a challenge to remember and be a man and a husband like that.
It's not always clear what God is doing, because my dad got his wings as World War II was ending. So he didn't go to war, but got all the training. So God used that in preparing him for later on.
Shortly after Ted came to know the Lord, he was operating under the same misconception most Americans have, and that the work of the church should be left to the pastors, teachers, and preachers. Well, that all changed one day when he went to knock on someone's door to sell him insurance, and through the Lord's providence, he led an 81-year-old man to the Lord, whose mother, believe it or not, was still alive and had been praying for him for more than 80 years. That ignited a passion in him for the lost that lasted the rest of his life, and it changed the way he saw the responsibility of sharing the good news.
God had given Ted a spiritual gift of evangelism. And along with that, he had the personality, really, to implement that passion that he had.
My dad was concerned about businessmen, and he had a heart for businessmen because he felt like they were unreached. As we grew up, he was busier and busier with CBMC and flying all over the country and all over the world. And I believe he and Mother went to 76 countries, and they went around the world 7 times.
My grandfather flew an average of 10,000 miles a month, internationally and nationally, meeting with some of the highest men in business, highest up, CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. But I also remember a time where we were at lunch back here in Chattanooga, and he ran to a homeless man on the corner of a street at a stoplight, and he was instantly moved to tears. And we drove to a grocery store and bought all the food we could and took it back to the man and gave it to him and witnessed to him. I always was amazed, from the people that are highest up in their life down to the common person on the side of the road my grandfather could relate to, loved, showed all sorts of concern and care for.
Now, you talk about something special. This is special for me. Jennifer, how did the idea for an outreach at Auburn University get started?
I'm 41, and I look back on my life and I think the most influential people in my life are the people who were really available. And my grandfather was really available for me. He wrote lots of letters. He called all the time. He made constant visits. He gave me the Bible that I carry today, and in the front it says, "May He bless your ministry in these exciting days before He comes again." He doesn't need ability, He needs availability. So at a young age, I was taught to be available for Jesus, and He can use me just like he used my grandfather.
He would say that if the best thing in life is knowing Jesus, then the next best thing has got to be telling other people about Jesus. This book is an example of how many people's lives are changed forever, generations from people's lives that he touched. Maybe 100 years from now, people won't even know who Ted DeMoss is, but the people that he has directly affected has grown exponentially.
Well, the Lord really used Ted DeMoss to save my life. I was a young Marine machine gunner returning from war. I was destroying my marriage and about to destroy myself. I came to faith in Jesus, and Ted DeMoss had an integral part in both of our changed lives through Jesus Christ. Our marriage was rebuilt. I'm forever thankful for Ted, for his integrity, his passion, his love that men would know Jesus Christ. I just owe everything to Ted, a debt I will never be able to repay.
Ted DeMoss was a regular guy. He was a businessman. He understood businessmen. That was his glowing passion. He wanted to invite people to Jesus Christ. He had a passion for the lost, and he was available. I think that's really why God uses so many people, because they are available to him.
My dad would get up every morning very early, and he would pray for hours, and he would pray for people. And we found a list of over 20 pages of people he prayed for every day. At his funeral, people came through the line to us and said, "Your dad has prayed for us for years, and who will pray for us now?"
All we have to do is be sensitive to who God puts in front of us, and then to respond to that. It's not harder than that. That's what Ted was doing all of his life.
Oh God, I want you to break my heart for the people on my street that do not know Jesus Christ, the salespeople that call on us, the people where we shop. Give us a new vision of a world that's lost and on its way to hell, a world that has lost its way. Help us to think what we're going to give our lives to. May it be said of us one day, when in the mansions above, the saved all around us appear, we'll have the joy of hearing some say, "It was you who invited me here."